Come join me on Monday, October 14th at the Belglade Country Club for the VPSD Firefighters Thanksgiving Day Dinner Fundraiser. We're going to party from 6 p.m. until they throw us out with the music of Crimson Sunset as they rock to the music of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. So come on out and support our firefighters. If you'd like to help with the fundraiser or with providing dinner to the firefighters, contact me at goldwingnut.com/Thanksgiving or email me at thanksgiving@goldwingnut.com. We'll see you there.
So we all know when people move into their homes, especially in Florida, we're limited for storage space. So what we do is we come in and help create storage space by maximizing what is currently available in their kitchens and their closets and other rooms. So a few of the things that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer, and our attention to detail is second to none. If you're looking to transform your kitchen, closet, or any other space in your home, give us a call or check out our website to book an appointment.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Don, and this is Gold Wingnut Live. You just saw my constant reminder. If you don't know what it does, don't touch it. That's what screwed me up the last couple of weeks, and we're not going to do that again. So things are going well, though. So far, nothing has crashed today. So we got Patty from Long Island, and Bill, who is also from Long Island, is soon to be full-time here in the Villages. And we got Steve Judge and Rich from Warminster, Pennsylvania. Wow. Okay, lots of people all around. So today's episode is sponsored by Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise. Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise is a big company, but they own franchises, and the local franchise owner is Scott Goodger. Sorry, I always mix up his last name. Scott and his wife, April, live here in the Villages, and they do these wonderful closets. So, if you're looking to get rid of the wire shelves, which Debbie made very clear to me that the wire shelves, we're not going to cut it anymore. So we've in our new property that we own, that eventually someday, maybe, I don't know, I'll move into, we have these closets done, and they're very nice. It gives you a heck of a lot more space, more than I actually had imagined. And also they do kitchen cabinets and that. The big pantry cabinet that's next to the refrigerator always has these really deep shelves. They're like 24 inches deep. They're really deep. So you get stuff put back in there and you'll never find it. They make a rollout shelf. So we had some of those installed also. Very nice stuff, good quality. The shelves, they're all adjustable if you ever need to adjust them. Just take your time and follow the directions on how to make the adjustments. So let's see what we got. We got a bunch of stuff coming in here. Looks like Debbie is going to be in Shady Brook. Lots of people moving to Shady Brook. So Ebb 2000, yeah, well, I'm trying on the video. It has been another challenging week. I've got the then and now segment done. It looks great. Most of the other stuff is done. It's just a matter of getting the time to sit down and do the voiceovers. The voiceovers are, for a 30-minute video, it's a day and a half worth of work, and that's what's killing me right now. But I'm working on it. So John, I just answered that one, I think. How's it going? So, anybody got any questions to start today? Well, we got 81 people on board. Karen's online from Rent from a Villager, another one of my advertisers. I got a lot of advertisers that they offer some good products. Surf to Turf, Magic Stairs. There's just a whole bunch of them, and I screen them carefully to make sure that they're going to be a good product that's going to work for you as one of my viewers, that I believe is a good product, and what I would do for myself. You can see in the corner there, that's Sully. And I think they think there's a cookie in here, and there's no cookie. Sorry, guys. Sorry. You're going to have to go see Mom. But anyway, they all provide great products that, again, I've screened them. I've looked at their products. Some of them I've bought their products because I think they're worthwhile. Magic Stairs, prime example. The whole for less than the cost of one emergency room visit is a true statement. Emergency room visit is pretty expensive, and I don't go up in the attic any more than I absolutely have to anymore. I'm beyond that game. But anyway, so let's continue on. Unschool asks, do you recommend CERT training? So CERT is Community Emergency Response Team. They're a great organization. They help out during times of emergency. If you're really wanting to help the community, by all means, go to CERT, get trained. It's a great place to help out. There's so much that happens here that they do good work on. David is from Moultrie Creek, Verandas West. Oh, howdy. Sam in Houston, moving to the Villages in September of 2025. Why? Why are you waiting, Sam? Oh my gosh. It's time to come now. Yeah. Look, you don't know if tomorrow somebody's gonna have a heart attack and die. So why not enjoy retirement as soon as you can? Okay, Steve has some questions. I have a couple. Any news on 470 and Megason? New work going on at 470 in the Turnpike North Side. And any idea what it's all about? Okay, so let's see. 470 and Megason. 470 and Megason. No, nothing new has surfaced. I might have some more information later this week. That's all I can say at this point. And 470 at the Turnpike. I don't know what's going on there either. Maybe some prep work. I don't know. I haven't seen any permitting on any of it, Steve. There's so many things going on. It's crazy. So on that note, let's talk about a couple that I know people are really interested. Harry and the Natives. Harry and the Natives, the people who own the original Harry and the Natives, has been around for 70 some years, made an announcement this past week that basically they're going out of business on, I believe it's October 12th. It's sad. They've been around a long time, obviously, and they're pretty much an icon, but they say that, they just never recovered from the whole COVID thing. And that really, it hurt a lot of businesses. It's sad. Now, obviously, Harry and the Natives is being built here in the Villages over by the Okahumpka Recreation Center. From what the newspaper said the other day, they've talked to some of the partners because it's a different ownership. They are still continuing with construction. I went by there yesterday. It's not moving very fast, but it is a wetlands area right on the border of the wetlands area, so they got to be very, very careful. The other is Boosters. Oh, let me see. I got a picture of Boosters. Where'd my picture of Boosters go? There we go. So we'll transition here. This is the inside of Boosters. Went there yesterday, and we had their, what do they call that platter? The game day platter. It was chicken wings and potato skins and onion rings and chicken fingers, and it was really good. It was like $22, and there was more than enough food for Debbie and I to make a meal out of it. So that was really good. Again, Boosters. I guess they've had a soft opening, but the place was pretty full, and shortly after I took this picture, the two tables you see that were empty filled. All the tables outside were full. They had some live music going on. Looks like it's going to be a great place. All right. Let's see. Oh boy, we got a couple. Let's see what's coming in here. You mentioned a place might be opening in Middleton very soon. Any more information on that? So, Middleton, what's happened there? The developer has moved their offices from Brownwood to Middleton. And the main street going through Middleton, I think it's Middleton Drive, is now unblocked. You can drive right through there, basically from the bank to the high school. But now the developers moved their office there. You drive by, you can see in the window, there's conference room tables, phones everywhere. So obviously they're still getting settled. Let's see. All right. Might be okay. So John, yeah, you asked about rumors about Harry and the natives. I just talked about that. Middleton. So Middleton doesn't have, David asked about Middleton Square. It doesn't have a square per se like Brownwood and Lake Sumter Landing and Spanish Springs. They do have a pavilion out front of the high school. It's got a great sound system in it. I was actually going to do an intro there the other day, and I went to do it, and it's like, okay, WVLG is playing. It's like I can't talk over WVLG, but they have speakers and everything there. They got a nice bathroom facility there. So my understanding is it's not going to be every night like it is at Town Square, but they will have frequent events there. Let's see. Sharon wants to know, Don, any hints on what grocery store is going to be in Eastport? I have nothing confirmed yet. Nothing at all. Mike B says, we started trying for a home site for a designer home. Victoria, thank you so much. As always, so generous. We aren't lucky last week or in our first lottery attempt. Any advice or guidance? Feeling a bit discouraged. Mike, the best thing I can tell you is keep trying. These home sites are in high demand. Everybody wants a view site. Whether they're willing to pay for it or not, that's always an interesting one. Because some of the view sites over the years, even $250,000, $350,000 up in Marsh Bend area. They're a little more reasonable now. They're $150,000 for water and golf course views down in the Moultrie Creek area. Some are a little bit more, obviously. If you get a really nice view, well, there you go. You're going to pay a little extra for it, but it holds its value. Let's see. Bill says, Don, once we move into our new home in WellPoint sometime early next year, is there a website that we can use that lists contractors used by other villagers, various projects, and their thought? Facebook. I'll be honest with you. Start looking at some of the neighboring neighborhoods. They're the ones that are going to be talking the most. So, Bill, start looking at like Shady Brook, Moultrie Creek. There's a lot of secondary construction going on, a lot of contractors going on that work. So that's a good place. You can ask your questions there, and the folks will give you plenty of input. So Victoria says, "I missed your live shows for the last 2 weeks. Thanks for answering everyone's questions." Victoria, you didn't miss much because other than me screwing up with the software, I really had a hard time. But again, I was messing with things I probably shouldn't have been. Now that I figured it out, I don't touch them. Barbara K says, I gave up on. Oh, let's go back to the Mike's question about the views. It is random chance. Obviously, if there is this gorgeous supersized lot that's overlooking a beautiful pond and the golf course, and there's going to be 50 people wanting it, it's going to be very difficult. Excuse me. My best advice is keep trying. My friend Jim who has a veranda in Shady Brook Verandas. Took him 10 tries to get a veranda home. And but he's got a great home. I like the floor plan because it's the same floor plan I got. Big difference is he's got a golf course view. I've got a water view. Anyway, let's see. Sorry. Woo. I guess I swallowed my own tongue. Anyway, Barbara Kay says, I gave up on a view lot mic and went with just a normal size lot. So if the view isn't important, they're doing something that's really, really unusual. They're doing custom builds on a lot of interior sites. The first place I really saw this going on was in the village of St. John's. They did about 20 homes like this a couple of years ago, and it was kind of unusual, but again, interior sites with custom builds. Well, now if you look at Shady Brook, almost all of them are like that, that they've released recently, which it gives you more options. Not everybody likes the the spec homes and what they put in them. Now, of course, if you're looking for a veranda, a courtyard villa, or a patio villa, you're out of luck. You're going to go with a spec home. Let's see. John, once again, any Middleton grocery store news? No. Again, I haven't heard. I've even gotten less information on that. Safe from hell. Kyle says, I'm just glad the villages are safe from Helen. Yes, that was quite a storm. It was interesting. The wind was blowing like crazy here. I'm looking out the window, watching the trees, thinking, okay, just don't blow a big branch off and put a hole in my bird cage, on my swimming pool. I've been lucky. Funny story. My pool was finished here in the village of Hillsborough 2 days before Irma came through. And, signed off all the paperwork. I own it. Great. T&D left. They did a great job. Irma comes in and power goes out. Sitting there all night long, no power. I sat up the entire night, and I just figured come morning, there's going to be this palm tree in my swimming pool. And I got through it. Not a single hole. Nothing hit my bird cage. I made it all the way through. Of course, not everything is perfect. I do have to repair a screen now. The puppy that came back decided he wanted to get in the pool, so he went out the dog door, turned around, and punched right through the screen to get into the pool. But that's no big deal. Patching screen is pretty easy. Let's see. Let's see. Unschool says, why do you suppose the villages does not create a bidding system for lots rather than a lottery? I don't know. I mean, you could get some really crazy prices on lots, and I don't think that's what they want. I don't have a good answer. From what I understand, it's always been basically this way. It used to be that the agents had to get in at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and the fastest one with the finger punching in, saying, I want this lot right here, is the one that got it. Then they went to this new computerized system where the computer picks a random selection, and that seems a lot fairer. Let's see. Tony V says, Don, any word on why they have not fixed the stoplight at Winn-Dixie and the Plaza Plaza Place at Lake Sumter Landing? So, Tony, yes, there is a word. I spoke to, I was going to say Richard Bear. He's the old district manager. Kenny Blocker, who is the district manager, about this a couple of weeks ago. The reason that it's not fixed is that pole is about 20 years old, and it's not made anymore, so they're having it custom made so it matches the rest of the ones. So it is on order. It's on back order. as soon as they get it, they're going to be putting it in. But that's what the holdup is, getting the pole. Mark asks, why did the developer wait to build new homes in Richmond that are 2 years after the initial phase of development, where there are environmental issues? Mark, I don't know. That was kind of a head scratcher for me too. I really don't know why they took that approach. Maybe it had something to do with the Buena Vista extension that the county put in, which is, Buena Vista now dead ends right there at Megason because of this new extension that the county put in. On that road, it's the most expensive road ever built in Sumter County, just because of the environmental issues that were involved. What I don't understand is 2 traffic circles. And basically, they're both to make a right-hand turn if you're heading south. And there's no other exits. I'm at a loss, but that predates me. Barbara says, Mike, I've tried about 18 different lots and missed out on all of them. I got an oversized interior lot near Shady Brook Rec Center. All right. Well, that's good, Barbara. I mean, at least you got something. Again, perseverance is the big key on these. I wanted to share something that was shared with me yesterday when I was at Boosters. I was doing some flying, and a friend of mine, Linda, she came out, and I could tell she was visibly upset. And I met Linda, oh my gosh, it was about, 2 years ago? About the same time Okahumpka Rec Center opened up. She and her husband, Glenn, were there with their golden retriever, Haven. Haven was a beautiful light brown golden. She was gorgeous. And we talked for a while, and I ran into her a few more times over the last couple of years. Haven unfortunately passed away. She had cancer or some tumor on her spleen, and by the time they recognized there was a problem till the time she passed was like 2 hours. And my heart goes out to her. I know what that kind of loss is. There are some that will say, well, it's just a dog. Well, I'm sorry. If you've owned a dog that's special to you, it's not just a dog. It's a member of the family. I've right before we moved to the Villages, we lost Bo. He was a golden retriever mix. He was my first golden, and he was a great dog. And then 3 years ago we lost Jesse, and 8 months before that we lost his mother, Sadie, and it still hurts. It still hurts every day. But Linda and Glenn, if you're watching, my condolences on your loss. Wish we could have hooked you up with a puppy from the first litter. The timing wasn't there. It is a sad time. Let's see, we got a few more things coming in here. Sam says, Sam here, I tried to buy 4 verandas, no luck. Also have tried to buy 7 lots, no luck. I'm going to keep trying. The view lots are very difficult to get, so I will keep trying. Yeah, I mean, get that rabbit's foot and 4-leaf clover and, chicken bones and goat's blood, whatever you got to do to get yourself some good luck. It can be challenging. Bill says, we paid in excess of $50,000 for a lined man-made reservoir pond in WellPoint 2 weeks ago. I thought that was high, but I also know that that it's easily the going rate, and many other lots are much higher. Yeah, you're right, Bill. I have a courtyard villa right now. That's where I'm sitting. It's on a corner lot. It's literally on the corner of Buena Vista and Hillsborough Trail. It's got a big pool bird cage on it, lights up on at night. it had a $51,000 premium on it for the lot. And that was 10 and a half years ago. So, $50,000 premium for a Waterview lot, that's not bad. Anyway, just keep trying. That's best I can tell you. Ebb says, I think traffic moves better at the intersection of Old Camp and Lake Sumter Landing as a four-way stop sign, just my opinion. I've heard both ways on that one. And Craig asked any word on what is going in south of 470 in Megason. No, nothing yet. Let's see. Diane wants to know, have they opened the golf cart path on Marshman Trail? No, they haven't. I have seen a couple of people using it. I actually saw a car driving down it yesterday afternoon, and I was like, really? But there's still a lot of construction going on in that area. They're still doing landscaping, getting sod put in, and things like that. So it's going to be a little while longer, but obviously when that does open, that's going to be a huge benefit. It's going to make it much easier to go north. As it is right now, you got about, I don't know, maybe half, 3/4 of a mile detour to go up, what do you got to go up? You got to go up Buxley Trail to McNeil, and then up McNeil till you get to Corbin Trail or Marsh Bend Trail to go north. All right, let's see. So I saw a comment today about the getting rid of the attendants at the gates at night, basically from midnight till 6 in the morning. Probably that's the least impact that getting rid of those attendants will have. Obviously, here in the villages, at 9 o'clock they roll up the sidewalks. At 10 o'clock they turn off the stars to save electricity. I mean, this place goes to bed pretty early. Occasionally there's a big thing going on down at the town square, but for the most part, by 9, 10 o'clock, this place is pretty much asleep. Let's see. But anyway, so online somebody asked, what are they going to do with all the money they save? I got news for you. They're not saving a whole lot of money because they're having to add additional staff other places because it's growing. So that's helping to offset some of that. But the other thing is, a couple of years ago, they passed this $15 minimum wage. Okay. And it goes up by $1 a year, and it's getting ready to go up to another $1. Well, that's a lot of money. It adds up real quick. Most people don't realize that. So it's a way of keeping cost under control. I personally like the night attendants. I've seen a few instances where they have been extremely helpful. A couple of years ago, we had somebody come through that was obviously drunk, going down Hillsborough Trail. They blew through the gate. As I was walking Jesse and Sadie up the road on Hillsborough Trail, I could see the skid marks and the ruts dug into somebody's house, and then you could see where the car hit the house. And I think the only reason that they got the response they did was because the attendant was there and saw it and immediately made the call. That was, like I said, a couple of years ago. Wow, I'm sitting here listening and I can hear the rain, and it's coming down pretty good. All right. Let's see. Harold wants to know, when are they going to start the Costco store? Well, work has started, but there's a lot of paperwork that's involved. I keep checking on certain websites, and the paperwork is still flowing. I give it another month or so, and then they'll start really digging. Let's see. Mark wants to know, what do you think the impact will be of the new super Walmart going in at the Village has grown on local traffic? Yep, traffic's going to increase. But let's talk about it. Coming north, is it going to increase? Because people are going that way anyway to get to the other Walmart, whether it be the Leesburg Walmart or the one on 466 or the one up in Lady Lake. They're going that way anyway. So I think it's going to impact the traffic north of 44 more by decreasing the northbound traffic. There may be an increase in southbound traffic on Morse Boulevard, but the northbound traffic and the traffic going north across 466A and farther north, I think it's going to decrease it. But anyway, it's funny because you hear people say, well, they need more stores and they need more stores, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as they say, well, we're going to put one here, everybody says, well, now we got traffic problems. Folks, you can't have it all. It's just not going to work. There's a trade-off on everything. Sam Lux says, saw you at Artman's Steakhouse for lunch. Asked about early bird special. Thanks for your professionalism. A retired U.S. Air Force missile man and present-day RC pilot. So, Thomas, you were a missile man. Wow. I'm assuming you worked in the silos or were support for the silos. That was a different time. I was involved with the missiles too. I was on a submarine. No, I just pushed them around. I was in the engine room operating a nuclear reactor. So we pushed around 24 missiles and all their lovely little warheads, and we were, I think, the third most powerful nation on Earth at the time. Anyway, let's see. Hot job, KT. Don, drone video and pictures of our lot in WellPoint look great. Thanks. Look forward to your documentation of our build. Hot job, KT is obviously one of my customers. I don't know by this handle which one they are. I think I have 3 or 4 houses now up in WellPoint. And, it's, I'm watching their build for them while they are, I'm assuming, up north. There's a few people that have moved from down south. We keep an eye on things. Fortunately, the Villagers does a good job, so there's rarely any problems. I didn't say never, but it's rare. But if you're interested in something like that, go to my website, goldwingnut.com, and you'll see the link there if you're building a new home. People want to know what the progress is. Well, I'll tell you what the progress is 2 or 3 times a week. Let's see. Jim wants to know, why did they put a 4-way stop intersection at Corbin Trail and McNeil? You would think it was going to be a busy intersection. A roundabout would have been a better solution at that intersection. So Corbin Trail and McNeil. Because they're both 2-lane roads. Okay. Are they 2-lane roads? I know McNeil is 2-lane, and I'm pretty sure Corbin Trail is also 2 lanes at that point. So, they generally only put the traffic circles on the 4-lane roads around here. All right. We were talking about the hurricane a little while ago. One of our regulars, Land Girl GB, her real name is Julie. She was all set to come down here. We were actually going to have lunch or dinner on Tuesday and get a chance to meet face to face. And she decided not to come down because of all the havoc that's been wreaked up where she lives because of the hurricane. I wish her the best. It's obviously pretty traumatic when we have one of these storms come through. Let's see. Shelley says, I've put in for 6 verandas on premium lots and 9 lots to design a designer slash premier home. No luck yet. It's very discouraging. Yes, it can be very discouraging, but it's going to be very uplifting when you finally do succeed. Don't give up. Let's see. I'm just going through my list of stuff I had written down here. Hey, let's talk about district supervisors. Okay. District 14 and 15 have landowner elected supervisors. Now, what does landowner elected mean? Well, there's landowner and there's qualified electorate. The qualified electorate is what we usually think of. Registered voters. Okay. You got to live in Florida to vote in Florida, and you have to live in the district to vote in that district. That's a qualified electorate. That doesn't happen until after the CDD is at least 6 years old and has 250 qualified electorate living in it. Until that point that both are met, it's a landowner election. A landowner means the entity, whether it be an individual, a corporation, a couple, you and your spouse, gets 1 vote for every acre or portion thereof, okay, in this landowner election. So if there's 1,000 acres and each one gets 1 vote, so there's going to be 1,000 votes cast, okay? Now let's say they divide those 1,000 acres into half-acre lots. Now there's going to be 2,000 votes cast because each property is entitled to 1 vote. Now, if that property is, let's say, 2 acres or even 1.5 acres, well, then that landowner doesn't get 1 vote. They get 2 because it's for each acre or portion thereof. So again, we're coming up on a landowner election. When the last landowner election was held, basically there was 1 landowner. That was the developer. And they got to elect who they wanted to. So now these districts have landowner elections coming up in November. You'll cast your ballots at Everglades, and I believe it's Everglades. Don't hold me to that. I got to look and find out again where the actual voting is going to be held. It's not done on the general election ballot. That's going to happen in November. It's a completely separate election. But anyway, on October 18th, from 9 until 10 a.m., folks who want to be considered for it, there's a meeting for that at Everglades. If you're interested in being a district supervisor, it's an interesting job. I will say, there are some people that think, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the world because what they did with this rate increase is ridiculous. Not going to happen, okay? Because the first thing you're going to get is an education on what your job is and what the responsibilities entail and where the money is going and where it comes from. And if you pay attention to half of what they tell you, you're going to realize that the district supervisor's pretty much been doing what they have to do. And, there's not much else can be done. The increases that we saw in District 14. That's just a reality. Got to pay the cost. If you don't pay the cost, the maintenance stops. If the maintenance stops, conditions degrade, you get to hear about it. Trust me, you will get to hear about it as a district supervisor. I was one for 7.5 years. But anyway, if you're interested in being one, this is the meeting to attend. If you're interested in wanting to get involved with the community, this is a great place to start. It's a couple of hours a week. There's generally 1 meeting a month. It lasts about an hour, sometimes less. Now, the one at 14, 3 weeks ago, it lasted like 2.5 hours. That was a marathon meeting for a district meeting, and those are very rare. But I highly encourage you, get involved with our community. This is how we make sure it stays better. The developer doesn't want to run our community. They want to build the houses, get it done, turn it over, and move on. The only thing they're going to stay involved with is the commercial properties, which include the championship golf courses. They want the residents to take and run everything. And that's the way it's happening from District 13 north. It is run by residents. And now they're all, for I think all of 13 and above are qualified electorate. Only 14 and 15 are, landowner election. But again, that is October 18th from 9 to 10 a.m. Everglades, if you're interested. Let's see. We got a bunch of comments come in here. Let's see what came in just now. Before we stop, we talked about that. 6 verandas. So Patty says, Victoria, I think Don and his wife chose a Hillsborough model, but I could be wrong. It's a Hillsdale. Hillsdale is the same as it used to be called a Woodside, and I think it's called a Dove now. It's a 3-3. Let's see. Bill says, anybody here moving to or having built a home in WellPoint, looking for any future neighbors? Let's see. Lori, this is a good one. Will the new Walmart on 44 be golf cart accessible? Villagers Grown staying or moving to a new location. Villagers Grown is staying, and I do not believe it's going to be golf cart accessible just because A, there's no golf cart path leading up to it, and there's a bunch of wetlands area, and somebody's got to pay for it, and who's that going to be? You know, it's a huge expense. I mean, they could put in a tunnel, but that means tearing up either 44 or Morse Boulevard. That's not happening. They could put in a bridge. That's even more expensive. I just don't see it happening. The roads are too big, too busy. So my coffee cup is getting empty. So let's take a short 30-second pause.
So we all know when people move into their homes, especially in Florida, we're limited for storage space. So what we do is we come in and help create storage space by maximizing what is currently available in their kitchens and their closets and other rooms. So a few of the things that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer, and our attention to detail is second to none. If you're looking to transform your kitchen, closet, or any other space in your home, give us a call or check out our website to book an appointment.
Come join me on Monday, October 14th at the Belglade Country Club for the VPSD Firefighters Thanksgiving Day Dinner Fundraiser. We're going to party from 6 p.m. until they throw us out with the music of Crimson Sunset as they rock to the music of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. So come on out and support our firefighters. If you'd like to help with the fundraiser or with providing dinner to the firefighters, contact me at goldwingnut.com/Thanksgiving or email me at thanksgiving@goldwingnut.com. We'll see you there. All right, I'm back, and thanks for watching the ads. The fundraiser is coming up. I will tell you, folks, I need some help with organization and that. I've got the band arranged. We're going to be airing video number 150 at that. I've got I think it's a 16-foot diagonal projection screen set to come there. I've already paid the deposit on it. It's going to be at the Belglade Country Club. I'm working on some drink specials and that for everybody. So please come on out and join us. If you're going to come by golf cart, okay? And then double, triple, quadruple park in these parking spots. Last time we did this at Evans Prairie, we had like 350 people there. We ran out of parking. That's why I chose Belglade, because there's a lot more parking there, and we can fit a lot more people there. I hope to see you all there. Last time we raised $27,000 for charity. If we can raise a couple of $1,000s to help support the Firefighters Thanksgiving Fund, that's great. We won't use all the cash for Thanksgiving. Anything that's left over, which there normally is quite a bit left over, will go to their relief fund. So when they have somebody who's, a sick child going through some tough times, maybe house burned down, something like that, this is where the firefighters give to their own, and we want to help them out. They do a great service to our community. I'm handling VPSD. Last year, Commissioner Jeff Bogue took care of all the fire stations outside of the villages. He did a great job, and I applaud Jeff on that. He's a great guy, a good county commissioner. Anyway, let's get back here. What do we got here? John asks, how often are district commissioner positions available? Every 2 years. We've got 5 positions. Every 2 years, either 2 or 3 commissioners or supervisors are elected, or maybe reelected. Who knows? There are some that have been in office for quite a while. Let's see. Jim O says, hey Don, is CDD 15 the largest CDD in the villages so far? I don't know the final acreage. I know that over the years, the acreage has gone up. It used to be 1,000 acres. And then they raised it to 1,500, and CDD 10, where I live, is right at 1,500. And they've since raised it to 2,500 acres, which is, that's a lot of land. 2,500 acres is what, 4 square miles. That's a big chunk of land. But yeah, CDD 15 is definitely a big one. It probably is the biggest. It's hard to tell though, because 13 is spread out all over, because it includes DeLuna all the way down to St. Catharines and St. Catharines, Citrus Grove, all those. So and Richmond, so there's a lot in there. Anyway, let's see. So we talked about district supervisors. Again, it's an important job. It definitely is part of how our community works, and it's something that it takes people who are truly interested to get involved with, and I highly encourage you to do it. Most of us have a little free time on our hands. Retirement's good, but I still stick to my saying that work is highly overrated. All right, we still got 130 people on board, so great. Let's see. We got a few more questions here. Let's go over here to the question slide. There it is. All right. So the first question is, this is from Lynn. Lynn says, I have 2 questions for you. The first group of homes in the New Richmond area were released Friday. So this is about 2 weeks old. A village's realtor told me that there's going to be a section of lifestyle visit homes in this area. Do you know if this is true? And 2 was, you had mentioned previously that the traffic light at State Route 44 and Megason Road would be getting a left turn arrow. There's a backup most days of 10 to 15 vehicles, and it takes several light changes to get through the intersection. Can you follow up to see if can you follow up on this to see what the status is? I appreciate any help. So I'm not certain about lifestyle preview houses in the New Richmond area, and I seriously doubt it. As high as demand as those things are getting snapped up as soon as they get released. I just don't see it. They have done some that are going in WellPoint, both cottage homes, it looks like, as well as the typical patio home. So, but I don't think that's happening. As far as that light, so at 44 in Megason, so this is right there at Brownwood, at the intersection, where the Brass Cow is. Sounds like a good name for a bar, the Brass Cow. Sorry. um, anyway, that was something that the county had discussed with FDOT. It somehow got lost. So right now, the process is to finish up the State Road 44 work, which I think is either done or very close to done. And once that is all closed out, then the county will go back and do the traffic light there to the turn lane to help ease that traffic. That's part of the reason why the Buena Vista extension was put in to help relieve some of that pressure. So as far as 10 to 15 vehicles backing up, then I go down that very frequently, like every other day. And the most I've ever seen is 4 or 5. I don't think it's 10 or 15. Yeah, I'm sure at rush hour there could be. Actually, I see more traffic coming out of Brownwood than I do out of Megason. But anyway, so it's what it is. Let's see. Next question. Peter Bernard. You probably know Peter Bernard from Jerry and Linda's The Village's Newcomers show. He does the bubble wrap segment. Nice guy. I guess he used to be a newscaster. At least that's what I see on his Facebook page. He says, Don, any truth to the rumor the Villages purchased Coleman Correctional Prison? He says, I call BS. Well, Peter, there is no truth in it. I responded to Peter one-on-one on this one, but this one comes up every 6 months. Oh, the Villages is buying Coleman. No, it's not. Okay? Let's talk about the economics of it. Where are they going to put those thousands of prisoners? It's the largest prison facility in the country. They would have to build a new one. That would be something that has to happen. And who's going to pay for that? It would be a huge expense. The other thing is, Coleman Prison is not a typical building. It's high strength, highly reinforced concrete, several feet thick. So they can't chip through it with the spoon that they stole out of the dining room. It'd take them a long time to dig through that much concrete. So it would be so expensive to tear that down and then try and figure out where to dispose of all that material. It's a huge amount of material to build these prisons because the walls are so thick and that. Just the cost of demolition alone would be prohibitive. Prohibitive to the point that they couldn't build enough houses on that land to turn a profit. So it's not profitable. It's not happening, folks. But we always, again, this comes up every couple of months. So David asked you a great question. Don, does the Villages give a credit if you decide not to have part of a new build completed? For example, if I want to do contract for flooring out, if I wanted to contract the flooring out, will the Villages give me a credit if you do not put it in the floor? And I responded to David on this one also one-on-one. This came in an email. They don't build partial houses. They're going to build the whole house. The only thing I have seen them do is have an appliance credit. If you decide you don't want the appliances, then they give you a credit on the cost of the house. And that's the only thing I have ever seen. I have seen people that will. I took pictures of one house, and I was scratching my head. They built a beautiful house, blew it out big time, and it's like they put in the cheapest countertops and the cheapest flooring could be, and I'm going, what the heck are they doing? They just spent all this money to blow out the house, make the rooms bigger and everything else, and then they went cheap. Well, I went back 2 weeks later after the house was complete, and it's back under construction. All the counters were being ripped out. All the cabinets were being ripped out. The flooring had been ripped out because the Villagers didn't have what they wanted. And the other thing was taxes. they said they were doing $100,000 worth of changes. Well, none of those require a building permit, so that doesn't trigger a reevaluation of their property taxes. So their house became worth a lot more by doing it themselves, and they have to pay a lower property tax. But that's not an uncommon thing to see around here. Flooring, prime example, guilty. I'm guilty. The house in Moultrie Creek, we had the flooring, the carpet pulled out of 2 of the bedrooms because we don't like carpet. We left carpet in what we consider the guest bedroom. It's not going to be used that much, so the builder's grade carpeting should last 20 years. Normally it doesn't, not with 2 golden retrievers. Let's see. This is from Paul and Roxy. Hi, Don. We enjoy your live shows. In the new areas, are they installing the infrastructure for fiber optic internet service to the home? In McClure, we cannot get fiber internet to the house, but friends in Finney have it available. So yes, they are. It's funny. There are some areas that have it, some that don't. My house here in the village of Hillsborough, I have fiber to the door, and I get a gigabit up and down. Not a megabit, a gigabit, 1,000 megabyte up and down link on fiber, and it's wonderful. Moultrie Creek, same thing. Some of the areas just don't have it, and part of it is the contract bidding in that with the developer. They've got to put it in themselves, as I understand it. It's unfortunate. Not everybody gets it, and it is very expensive to put in. So, let's see. Tricia asked, will the CVS on Magnolia have a minute clinic inside? No idea. That's still well under construction. Well, let's go back. We had a bunch of comments come up through here. Mark Morgan says, what's the peak snowbird season? January through March. We have noticed the squares are starting to fill up. Parking lots are full at Brownwood last night with Relic when Relic was playing. Well, there's the first clue. Relic was playing. They're really good. They're definitely one of the hot up-and-coming bands here in the Villages area. And I've heard them play a couple of times. They really pack them in because they're really good. Snowbird season, I noticed years ago there was a correlation with snowbirds called love bugs. When you see the love bugs in the spring, that means the snowbirds are going home. And then when the love bugs come back in the fall, that means the snowbirds are going to start coming back. There's a little bit of lull around Thanksgiving and Christmas because sometimes they want to go back up north. Why? Because there's snow. That's a 4-letter word. I don't like snow. Because with snow comes a snow shovel, and that just is a backache. I know, you can get an electric snow plow or whatever. Yeah. Sorry. Just don't do snow. Let's see. Julia Van says, will there be golf cart access to the new Walmart on 44 Mars? Again, I don't think so. It's just not going to happen. Eb says, I noticed a silt fence and earth moving at Lake Deaton. Is this for the new Hooters? Could be for the new Hooters. Could be for the new Dunkin' Donuts. It's that's 2 things that are going in that area. Obviously, there is the new Fifth Third Bank that's well under construction. So I haven't been by there this week. Actually, I was, but I was more focused on getting to Publix and getting the things that I was trying to remember that Debbie told me to pick up, and before it leaked out of my brain. So I really wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go back. And whoops. All right. So that's the last question. Where are we at on time? We got a little bit of time. So I want to talk about the election and Sumter County politics. Let me switch cameras here. So I've had a lot of people come up and congratulate me on my win. I haven't won yet. Still got the November election. The reason there's a November election is because there is a write-in candidate. Write-in candidates are voted on during the general election, not during the primaries. All 3 county seats have write-in candidates. Very sensitive. Oh, sorry, Tony. Yeah, if I hit my hand on it, yeah, this microphone is very sensitive. I got to put it on some acoustic mounts. I've got one on order from Amazon because right now it's sitting on a desk mount. Let me pick it up. This is what it looks like. It's huge. I'll try not to bump it too hard because I have, yeah. Oh, I can see the VU meters just going nuts. So when I picked it up. Anyway, great microphone, great pickup, but boy, is it sensitive. Anyway, back to the election. So I still have to go through the general election.
It's 16 hours.
My computer's talking to me. Again, the 3 write-in candidates. It is part of our election system to have these things, and people don't want to be associated with the party, whatever their reasons for being a write-in candidate. That's their reasons. I understand what the Republican Party of Sumter County did. I was not a part of that planning to get people to be write-in candidates. We've seen election tampering before with one party will have a candidate and the other party will have a strong candidate and a weak candidate, and those people will in the first party will vote for the weaker candidate to make it easy for their candidate to win. So it stops that kind of election tampering. Victoria says, when will you do a tour of your new veranda? Anyway, maybe soon. So that's why this happened here in Sumter County. Now, I know there are a lot of people that are upset because they might be Democrats. They say, well, it's not fair. We don't get to vote. In the state of Florida, this happens frequently because it is a closed primary system. 60% of the time, it is the Democrats doing it. 40% of the time, it's the Republicans doing it. We've got the statistical data on it. It is what it is. That being said, there is one race that I really want you all to consider voting for a write-in candidate. Now, the write-in candidate, they're not listed on the ballot. It's just a blank spot for a write-in underneath the other candidate's name. Pat Francis is the write-in candidate for District 1 for County Commission. Now, why would I be pushing for a write-in candidate? Let's talk about the other candidate. The other candidate is Deb Butterfield. She is the editor of the POA newsletter. I got a hard spot with it. This is me. Hey, I'm the puppet, right? According to her, and I say according to her because she's the editor. So she's also the main writer. And if there's no byline on it, one has to assume that it's the editor doing the writing. And there's never any bylines on any of these articles. And I and other candidates have been really raked over the coals by the POA. So let's talk about the POA just a little bit. And I want to show you some of their statements. So this is their mission statement. Property Owners Association is the original property owners group in the village established in 1975. The POA operates with complete independence from the developer of the villages. Okay, yes, from the developer of the villages, I would agree. Move this out of the way. Membership is open to all property owners and residents of the villages. The POA is committed to acting as a watchdog to ensure that the developer and the local government are responsive to the needs, interests, and rights of the residents. Well, okay, local government, I understand. The developer? You know what, folks? Once the developer is done building in your area, they're done. They move on. I mean, I live in CDD 10. What does the developer own in CDD 10? Nothing. They own nothing. They have no interest here, just like they have no interest in CDD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? If there's commercial properties, that's not part of the CDD. That's separate and completely independent. So if you think they're going to strong arm the developer, well, no. And that's what they try and do. And pretty much the developer gives them the raspberry. They don't really care to talk to them. Let's see. Let's see. Vision of the Property Owners Association is a champion for the rights of the residents of the villages, guided by member input, investigation, and determination. The POA brings attention to and acts on issues that may impact property values and quality of life. Well, I will tell you that they have done things that impact property values because they are, for lack of better terms, very anti-business. And if you don't have good businesses in your community, you don't have much of a community. Property values go to pot. And the things they have championed over the years have definitely served against property values, in my opinion. Here we go. This is where it starts getting really gray. The POA provides a forum for discussion of issues, research and analysis, programs of interest, and is a conduit for objective and accurate information. So a conduit for objective and accurate information. If you've read any of the newsletters that are put out by them, you know, the ones that they throw in your driveway and a lot of people just throw away, I found a good use for them. I got my Lily right here next to me. We use it to help clean up the backyard after Lily goes back there, because that's all the value I see in it. Anyway, they are not objective. When you see them calling candidates puppets because they got support from our businesses, how is that objective? The POA is free of any outside influence. No. It's obvious there's outside influences. Anyway, this is the only way we can assure our members of absolute autonomy to act on their behalf. Anyway, I'm sure that Cliff, who is the president of the POA, and Debbie, who is the one who is running for seat 5, are blowing a gasket watching this. Hey, you both know my phone number. Give me a call. I'll let you know how I feel about it. Let's see. This is where things get really interesting. The POA Bulletin is published monthly by the Property Owners Association of Villages Incorporated. Articles represent the opinion of the POA or the writer. So according to the POA, people are puppets. I got news for you. I know of only one puppet in this case, and that would be the editor of the POA newsletter who's running for county commission. I'll say it. I don't care. If she's upset, I don't care. I have no use for this. Let's see. They're going to try and get me. All publication rights are reserved. Publication or reprinting of any material contained herein is by written permission only. Well, this is news, and it is protected under copyright law as free use. So I'm sure they'll try and use that one against me. I don't care. So their values. Independence? Okay, maybe. Honesty? No. Because I have seen stuff that they print that is completely dishonest. Fair? Objective? respect, all of these are lacking, okay? When you start calling people puppets, when you don't even ask them or speak to them before you publish information about them, sorry, I got a problem with that. One of the things that brings this about is the fact that some of us took contributions from the business community. Yes, many of the businesses work with the developer. I took 3 donations from the developer's family. One from Mark Morris, thank you, Mr. Morris. One from Jennifer Parr, thank you, Jennifer. And one from Mark Morris's wife. I apologize, I don't remember your first name, ma'am. Each of them gave the legal limit of contributions of $1,000. Most of the rest came from businesses. Now, why would businesses make donations to candidates? Well, because they don't get to vote. And in Sumter County, that's a problem. They don't get to vote. But they do represent their employees, and they want what's best for their employees. They want what's best for their businesses. Because those employees, they're people. They have families. They have homes here. And they actually do care. If you ever get a chance to meet people like Steve Munns, who owns Galaxy Home Solutions, Mr. Terry Yoder, who owns, he's the matriarch of the T&D family of businesses, any of the Hughes brothers, many, many more. Some really, really great people. These businesses are constantly giving back to the community, and they do care about this community, and they want what's best for it. What happened 4 years ago, there was a big increase in property taxes, and the POA was, this is because we had to cover for the developers' growth. And their candidates that they championed were going to raise the impact fees so that they could lower the property taxes. Well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Impact fees are used for growth. So the traffic light we talked about at Megason and 44, that can be financed through impact fees. But repaving roads cannot. And, they say, well, growth needs to pay for itself. I want to know what it's not paying for, because the major roads are being paid for by they're being paid for by the impact fees, and the rest of it is being paid for by the residents in your bond, things like that. The roads, the community roads, your bond. The developer is paying for the water systems, the retention ponds. The developer pays for the sewage plants, so on and so forth. Anyway. Sorry. Getting a little off base here. Let's go back. This is out of the POA's newsletter. And these write-in candidates are also obstructing the opportunity for a smooth transition. There's plenty of time for a smooth transition. They are exercising their rights as candidates and residents. All right, let's go back here. Sorry, folks. It really chaps me. I've taken a lot of heat because of them, and it's time that we get the POA out of our local politics. They don't belong there. Let's just have our residents involved. Anyway, so what do we got here? Steve says, hey, Don, the northwest corner of Bexley Trail and Central Parkway at Eastport, next to the pond, has a blank spot on the map. Could this be the grocery store that hasn't been announced yet? Let me see here. Northwest corner. Yes, that is where the grocery store is going. If you look on some other maps, that's shown as commercial property. And Lori wants to know about Oh yeah, that commercial property, looking at it, does appear to be a grocery store. Any word on? So Lori wants to know any word on what will be going in where the Brownwood movie theater is located. I haven't heard a word. You know, the theaters. I mean, the whole theater industry is crumbling here in this country, and it's costing them money. You know, you can't just turn off the lights, turn off the air conditioning, and walk away from a building like that. Especially here in Florida, humidity is horrendous. So it has to constantly be air conditioned. It has to constantly be maintained. They cannot just let it sit there. And the fact that it used to have food being served in there, popcorn and that causes a huge pest control issue. So, excuse me. So they have to stay on top of that also. So it is, it's a huge expense for them. What they're going to do with it, I don't know yet. I haven't heard anything. None of my sources know anything. I liked it when it was there, but again, the movie industry has pretty much taken a fall here in this country, and I don't see it as ever going to come back. Even if you go to the theater, is it Old Mill? Yeah, Old Mill in Lake Sumter Landing. Half the time, maybe 20% occupancy. It's not good. Mark Morgan, one of our commenters, one of the people watching the show, he posted, or he sent me this picture the other day. This is me covering an event. Last week, I was live streaming it. Yes, the thing that I could not do 2 weeks ago at Saluki, I can now do successfully. We had 2 cameras going. We live streamed an event for the Sumter County, the Republican Club of the Villages, Florida, out of Azell. We live streamed it for 2 hours. Their event. Under Sheriff Breeden gave a great presentation on the sheriff's office. If you got some time, it's posted up on my YouTube channel. We streamed it to there, and it was great to watch. And I was, as I said, I was delighted that we got everything to work. Again, this. Wrong camera up here. The one area where we had some problems with was sound, and I'm working on that issue too. I'm going to purchase my own soundboard that'll allow me to plug into the building sound system, and we won't have any more sound issues. When the sound was working great, it worked great though. So if you have a club or an event that you want to live stream, let me know. We can arrange to get it done at a minimal charge. And poopers. Okay, I got a phone call coming in. Oh, it's a friend of mine from Massachusetts. Anyway, so I don't see any more questions. So folks, we're going to close out the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll do this again next week. As always, try and enjoy life, live it to its fullest. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know how many more tomorrows we have. It's if you're living here in the villages, you got a great place to live. If you're living in this country in the United States, it's definitely a great place to live. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you.
So we all know when people move into their homes, especially in Florida, we're limited for storage space. So what we do is we come in and help create storage space by maximizing what is currently available in their kitchens and their closets and other rooms. So a few of the things that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer, and our attention to detail is second to none. If you're looking to transform your kitchen, closet, or any other space in your home, give us a call or check out our website to book an appointment.
Come join me on Monday, October 14th at the Belglade Country Club for the VPSD Firefighters Thanksgiving Day Dinner Fundraiser. We're going to party from 6 p.m. until they throw us out with the music of Crimson Sunset as they rock to the music of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. So come on out and support our firefighters. If you'd like to help with the fundraiser or with providing dinner to the firefighters, contact me at goldwingnut.com/Thanksgiving or email me at thanksgiving@goldwingnut.com. We'll see you there.